Hey there, good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Tom Sherry. Whitney Ward and Mark Hanran have the night off. So let's get straight to breaking news. 2 Idaho healthcare workers experienced severe allergic reactions after getting the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine.
Yeah, so here's what we know. Both had a known history of getting severe reactions after receiving an injectable medication. One healthcare worker is fully recovered while the other is in the hospital. They are expected to be discharged today.
So when it comes to where in Idaho this happened, this is what we know. One of the cases was in the Treasure Valley and the other one was in North Idaho. Now there are 2 healthcare districts in North Idaho, District 1, Panhandle Health, and District 2, North Central Health. Well, Panhandle Health confirmed that the reaction did not happen within their district, which means it happened in either Latah, Clearwater, Nez Perce, Lewis, or Idaho County.
The medical director for the Idaho Division of Public Health addressed the news in a statement. The director said in part, "In light of these events, we are concerned about the risk to people with such a history and recommend that anyone with a history of severe reaction or anaphylaxis to any vaccine or injectable therapy defer taking this vaccine until more is known." Right now, both incidents are being investigated.
And one of the largest fines in Washington state history has been issued to Gebers Farms. According to the Department of Labor and Industries, the company violated COVID-19 protocols multiple times this year, and they're going to have to pay more than $2 million as a result.
Yeah, KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has the latest on this developing story.
Gebers Farms has nearly 4,500 employees. Most of the people that live in Brewster work for the company. It's a small town in central Washington, and at the beginning of this pandemic, they were all deemed essential employees. They pick, box, and supply apples across the entire country. Earlier this year, state officials reached out to Gebers about health and safety violations. According to the Department of Labor and Industries, an investigation began when they received anonymous phone calls about work conditions and people dying from the virus.
We take this job seriously. No one should have to go to work and then not come home or come home sick and spread an illness to their family and others. It should never happen.
A majority of the employees are migrant workers that come from countries in Central America. They're provided with housing, but oftentimes many workers are housed in the same building with little space to social distance. One of the callers actually said they feared hundreds of workers at his camp had the coronavirus.
So our last interaction with them, they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. Unfortunately, it took us coming out, opening an inspection, and looking into it to find that.
During the investigation, it was confirmed that a 37-year-old temporary worker from Mexico died on July 8th. LNI says Gebers failed to report the death within 8 hours as required. Later in the month, a 63-year-old worker from Jamaica collapsed and died. The cause of both deaths was determined to be caused from COVID-19.
There's nothing more important to Gebers Farms than our workers' health and safety.
Representatives from Gebers told me it's been a tough year.
Yeah, it is disappointing, and we do disagree with the state's assessment. We believe that the COVID prevention program we developed in consultation with an infectious disease specialist met the public health goals.
Representatives from Gebers told me it's been a tough year navigating all of the protocols, but they're committed to putting employees' health first. They've been following state regulations since July and plan to appeal the recent fine. From Brewster, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Today, the Spokane Regional Health District has reported 285 new COVID-19 cases. There is one new death now being reported, bringing the total number of deaths to 335 since the start of the pandemic. 62 Spokane County residents are still in the hospital.
Well, good news. With the approval of the Moderna vaccine, Washington will receive more doses. Now the state is receiving vaccines from both Pfizer and Moderna. Combined, Washington is getting close to 180,000 doses of the vaccine this week. The Washington State Hospital Association says 44,850 Pfizer doses and 128,000 Moderna doses are expected. The Pfizer doses will go mainly to hospitals with specialized freezers.
But the Moderna vaccines are going to more than just hospitals. They're going to public health departments, primary care facilities, and private medical groups. This news comes after the number of Pfizer vaccines coming to Washington state was cut by 40% due to not being enough ready for distribution. And today, the nation's top infectious disease expert, you know him right there, Dr. Anthony Fauci, rolled up his sleeve and got the COVID-19 vaccine. He received a dose of the Moderna vaccine. Dr. Fauci explained how meaningful it was to receive the vaccine after being a member of the National Institutes of Health for so many years.
What we're seeing now is the culmination of years of research which have led to a phenomenon that has truly been unprecedented. And that is to go from the realization that we're dealing with a new pathogen, a virus that was described in January of this year, to less than 1 year later, to have vaccines that are going into the arms of so many people, including myself. And so I consider it an honor to be part of this process.
Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar and the head of the National Institute of Health's Dr. Francis Collins also received the vaccine. All right, let's switch gears to weather now. Sunshine filled the Spokane skies today after what seemed like a really long time with cloudy and gray skies. So, Tom, is the sun here to stay?
Yeah, it is for the next couple of days, and then I've even got some snow that we'll be talking about in your forecast. So let's get right to it. We're at 34 degrees, not nearly as windy now as what we saw last night when down in Pullman they had peak wind gusts up in the mid-50s. We were close to 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts here in the Spokane area as well. Again, partly cloudy conditions and 34 degrees. Highest wind speed since midnight reported at the airport, 44-mile-an-hour winds, 48 in Pullman. Again, the highest wind speeds were actually before midnight last night. Deer Park had 43-mile-an-hour wind gusts in Coeur d'Alene. So you see, most of the windiest areas were in extreme eastern Washington and into portions of northern Idaho. We've got a little bit of light snow, but really it's over the mountainous areas, the hills that are kind of south of Post Falls and also up along the Mount Spokane area. A little bit of light snow falling there. We'll look for decreasing clouds and actually becoming clear this evening with an overnight low of 20 degrees expected. 35 should be the high tomorrow. That's getting closer to seasonal temperatures, and we'll look for, again, partly cloudy conditions with that 35 degrees. Snow develops late Christmas night, maybe in the overnight hours into Saturday morning. Then we'll see snow Saturday morning, and 36 will be the high. Mostly dry and mostly cloudy on Sunday. Look for a daytime high of 37 degrees. I'll check your 7-day forecast coming up in just about 10 minutes.
All right, Tom, thanks so much. Well, Congress approved a second round of stimulus checks, but President Donald Trump has some demands before signing. Up ahead, what changes the president is asking for, and if approved, when you can expect to see money in your bank account.